what's been happening? What else has been happening? CCT, speaking of Alireza and Magnus, you played in that one as well, though not very successful, unfortunately. Let's cover your side of the story in that one. You qualified to Division 1?
I'll just mention
Division
it
2?
briefly, because I there was nothing remarkable. I didn't play well.
Mm-hmm.
I played well in the play and I got first place,
In the play,
and that was
yes,
the
yes.
end of the good news. I lost a match to be demoted to Division 2, a match which I honestly don't think I should have lost, but I did.
Against who?
I was outplayed against Ivic,
Ah, Ivic, yes.
and then I got to Division 2, and then I just continued to lose matches to the point that I was out. I lost two matches and I won one, and even in the match I won, I didn't really feel very good about my play. And overall, it was just disappointing. But yeah, it's happens. I wasn't in good shape, um, and it kind of made itself felt. And Division 2 was won by Maxime Brasher-Legrave, I think quite deservedly overall, although the finish was a bit rocky against Wesley, but okay, overall Maxime definitely deserved it. So he won Division 2. He goes to Division 1 next time. Very good for him.
Did he come
And
from the winners bracket or the losers bracket? Because I remember he lost against Ivic. I'm getting very confused about all these
yeah,
brackets and all
so
these
we both lost
matches.
against Ivic and went to Division 2. But the difference was that he recovered from that, and he that was to decide the divisions. So Ivic went to
Mm.
Division 1 because of
Mm.
that.
Okay, that
And
makes
then
sense.
Maxime won all his matches to stay in the winners bracket. He lost to Wesley to force a reset, although he really should have won the first match against Wesley. It was like he was kind of crushing Wesley. But then Wesley made a comeback, and then he beat Wesley in the kind of reset, I guess you want to call it, of the final. And therefore he became the winner.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's that. Of course, the big story was Alireza won the whole thing. He won the Division 1, and the way he did that was kind of remarkable because he got to a final where he had to win two matches. The reason that he got to this final is because he lost to Duda early on. So basically, he lost his first match, I think, against Duda, although it was a very close match. And then he proceeded to win one, two, three, four matches to get to the final. And then he won two matches against Magnus.
Yes, yes,
So the comeback was like
remarkable.
pretty pretty amazing. He beat on his way there, he beat Serrana, Lazovic, Duda, comeback, revenge, Vincent, convincingly, and then Magnus twice. I mean, that's why I say that like with Alireza, you never know. He could also always like just play super good. And this was a pretty amazing, really well played also against Magnus overall,
Should we
I think.
go over a couple of games from those two matches? The one against Magnus, maybe the decisive
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I thought the first match was really fun to watch. They were like really sharp games. So like just to
Excuse me.
summarize he had a bit of a, let's say like upper hand in the first two games, but it ended in two draws, and then he lost the third. Magnus played a really nice game.
Yes.
Uh, and then you would think that like Magnus is a 99.9% favorite because he just needs one draw. And even if Alireza wins that, then Alireza has to win an Armageddon and then another match. But somehow that's what happened. Alireza won a comeback game from a
Yes.
drawn position objectively at some point. Then he won a pretty smooth Armageddon with Black, and then he uh, played another match that was the reset. They drew
Yes.
two games. Again, I think from positions of strength. So Alireza was almost always on the better side of it. Like in the first game, much better. Second game, much better. And then he won another Armageddon, which was another smooth game. So it really felt like he was just the better player that day. Like overall, he just played better than Magnus. That was my impression of it.
Mm, mm. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Do you have any games you want to look at and show the decisive moments from?
I mean, I think we can go for this final Armageddon game, right? It's to be honest, I haven't like analyzed this game, but Magnus was playing, so it's this like
Is this the
Bishop's
one
opening
where?
game.
Okay, wait. Let me try to find that one. Boom. Bishop's opening. Yes. Alireza is with white. Magnus is with black. It
Yeah, so what are
seems
the initial
like
times? Magnus
9
was
minutes, 10
7:24.
minutes versus 7:24. Yeah.
Yeah, so Magnus started to play the Petrov, very unusual for him. So Alireza avoided it with the Bishop's opening, which is logical, I guess, because the Petrov is pretty theoretical. You maybe don't want to get involved in that stuff in an Armageddon. Uh, but it looked like Alireza just knew like nothing in the opening because he played this 92. It's so harmless. I mean, you can play like this, but black is just immediately slightly better, I guess. Um, so you wouldn't expect this as like a good approach, but somewhere Magnus went wrong in the opening. I think he played a bit too direct. Like this whole knight c5 d4 was
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a sort of Armageddon psychological trap. It's like you're trying to simplify when objectively you have the center, so you should probably keep the tension in the center. It's basically an Italian, if you think about it in some ways. Like black should play h6, knight f8, knight g6. I mean, that's it's more or less like black is playing white in an Italian.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
And instead Magnus decided to trade pawns, and then it suddenly got like after knight c4 kind of annoying for black because e5 is attacked and you really want to defend this pawn, but maybe you shouldn't. You should play a5 or something, but it's not easy in Armageddon. Like it's these Armageddon games are just a totally different type of chess. And so after knight c4, it looks like Magnus is already in some sort of danger.
Yeah. He played knight f4, and now the position already gets a bit
Yeah,
chaotic.
it's already dangerous.
Right?
It's already a dangerous position. And then um, like after knight d6, you could kind of visually like at this point I was like, okay, hard to imagine Magnus surviving this
Mm-hmm.
because you either sack a piece with black or you allow this knight on d6 to live forever, and white's play becomes so easy. So after Alireza found knight d6, Magnus looked like really, really disappointed, upset. Probably he felt this was the moment that it's just like maybe no way back already.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
And Alireza played like super well for a long time. Although I have to say his position did kind of play itself for a while, but still, I mean, he was playing really, really well. And at some point he started to get nervous. Like I was watching live after like bishop c6, he has 2 minutes up, he has a winning position. Everyone can see that. Both Alireza and Magnus understand it's completely winning, but still you have to find the moves. And I kind of liked his knight c8 because it's not a move that you play instinctively. You keep the knight on d6, but it makes the play very concrete. He took the pawn on a7, attacking the bishop. Now he's up 2 pawns.
Mm-hmm.
And then very importantly, he gets rid of the bishop from c6. And bishop a4 that he found a really nice move, queen b7, which did come to mind naturally, but still very important. And yeah, when I was thinking about the position, I like the commentators were discussing queen b7, and it was also the first move that came to mind. But I was thinking, well, like after queen b7, d4, c6, queen d8, it doesn't look so easy because knight takes d4 allows bishop takes e5, and that's not good for white.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was like at this moment, kind of stuck. I was like, queen b7 looks correct, but how do you continue? And I think Alireza only played queen b7 because he had seen queen b4, and Magnus missed this for sure. Although Magnus also had no choice. Like at this point, he missed it, but even if he had seen it, it wouldn't have helped him.
Yeah.
And Alireza saw this. This was the last important move. After that, it was just kind of just super easy. I mean, no chances anymore. At that point, it was like 100% Alireza wins this game. And yeah, this finish was smooth. I mean, there was really no like chances. And that was it.
Yeah, no. I think
That was like one of the best Armageddon games I've seen in quite a long time, and overall probably one of the best performances I've seen in this format in a long time.
Yeah, he really didn't make a lot of mistakes, Alireza, in that match, and not a lot of people were giving him a lot of chances before his matches, for good reason. But at the same time, he's not the first one that has done it against Magnus. MVL has won against Magnus.
And Maxime did it.
So
Maxime did it. It's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible.
but I'm feeling like once you win one match coming from the losers bracket and you reset the championship bracket, I feel like you're the one with the upper hand in the match.
It's hard to say, of course, because yeah, you could be inspired, but you
From
could
a
also kind of
psychological
relax,
perspective, right?
could kind of relax prematurely too. You know, like I won the match, you feel like I achieved my goal, but still there's like a just as difficult match to play. But it felt like Magnus, like the way that he lost that fourth game, that was really a turning point because he actually was in that fourth game against Alireza in the first match.
Mm-hmm.
After Rook F6,
Let's see if I
he
can.
was probably either objectively winning um, or at least like black is not in danger if he just played E3. And if you play E3, which is also such a natural move,
Yes.
it's like what does white do anymore? Probably he would play Rook F4, King E5, and Rook F1. And maybe what they miss is Rook E2.
Then just
But
double
after Rook
up on the
E2, it's
second.
game over because then you just put the rooks on the second and you mate white with the help of the pawn.
Yeah.
So if he had played E3, it's basically match over. And then he played Rook C1, Rook F1. And here again, if he takes an E3, I actually don't understand what white can do here. It is kind of match over because you just play King E4, King F3, and the
Yeah.
pawn in E3 is too strong. I just don't understand this moment.
And you're
I
also
understand
just
not playing
threatening to
E3.
give checks, right? Like rook b1, rook b2 just finishes the game.
Well, then the king maybe runs to G3. Like if B5, I don't know if you start giving checks. Rook B1, King E2, Rook B2, King F3, Rook F2, King G3. Ah, maybe still also draw. But yeah,
Now
the
you can
drawing margin
go
is so high.
rook f1, right? For example.
Yeah. But maybe like, but just B5, King E4. Like white is the one who has to force the draw.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just no risk. So I didn't understand this moment. Rook C2, just like missing Rook G3, but it's like you're threatening mate in two. How do you miss Rook G3? I don't get this. This was a huge turning point. And Magnus played Rook C2 in a second. Like literally, he didn't think.
Yeah.
So this was a very rare, like huge miss by Magnus.
Yeah.
Because if he takes on F1 and E3, it's just, yeah, that's it. Match is
Yeah.
over.
Not something that we see Magnus missing very often. I mean, Magnus has
Yeah.
been on such a roll, yeah. Winning 7 tournaments in a row, could have probably won the 8th. At some point, something will go wrong for him as well.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
also like
happens, you know.
it's easy to criticize from the side, but of course, in the heat of the moment, you kind of well, we talked about this with Maurice, you kind of lose perspective. It's like things which are easy, they suddenly become difficult because you're in the heat of it. You're not looking from a relaxed, neutral perspective. So this is one of those moments Max will probably be like, what the hell was I doing? I mean, how could I how could I lose that position?
Well, I think that's exactly what he did, right?
Yeah,
He
maybe
started
that's why.
swearing in Norwegian, I would assume. Yeah, obviously, it's a tilt-inducing moment for sure, especially for players such as Magnus.
Yeah.
But yes, very exciting, and congratulations to Alireza